Okay, this is the beginning of my test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we can switch between what the input source is. So this one is just the camera. Let me turn down the volume on my monitor here. So we can have the camera just taking a picture of the action in the sanctuary. And we can also go to what's on the screen and just have that showing, so that it's nice and big for the people at home. We'll demonstrate how it scrolls through nicely so that you can follow the words as they're appearing on the screen. And we can also take a look at those, the feed from the laptop as picture in picture. And that becomes very handy. For example, when you're wanting to, when we get to the sermon, for example, and want to have content on the screen for the viewers at home, but so that they can also see the preacher in the pulpit. And that picture-in-picture can go smaller or larger depending on how it is set up. So the sound, I think, is pretty good. The picture is very crisp. The picture-in-picture is very functional. And we can eventually plug in a fourth input into the Roland so that we can have some transparency if we want it. Or we can plug in an additional camera that's pointed down at the front so that when we need to zoom in to place on the screen an image, that it is ready to go. That is all I'm going to do for now. Greetings from Strathroy United Church. It's a Sunday after lunch, and some of you have been patiently dealing with the sound system, the AV system at the church, not yet being fully connected. This morning was no exception. It takes a bit of time to connect things in, to shift from being ready for the outdoors, and then it rains, and then we're ready for the indoors. So I stayed after church for a bit to let you see what it's going to be like when we do connect the system together the right way, so that we don't have that hollow, echoed sound that you've been suffering through on usual Sunday mornings when we're trying to live stream. So what I want to point out is I'm sitting right in front of the camera right now, but if I were to pick it up, I could show you the sanctuary, but you can see over my shoulder that that's where we are right now. I'm hoping that you can hear the audio. It may be a bit distorted because I'm running the signal fairly high, but I want to show you how it integrates with the rest of the system. So when you are sitting at home watching the live stream, you could be seeing the preacher in the shot, or maybe we could switch the feed and you'll see instead that it's the words on the screen. So I'll pretend I'm reading the scriptures. The gifts that he gave were that some would be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ, until all of us come to the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to the maturity of the measure of the full stature of Christ.
And then we're able to switch back to seeing the preacher. And during the sermon, one of the challenges that we have is, well, how do you at home, like you're sitting in the sanctuary, get to look at the screen while keeping an eye on the preacher at the same time? And so that's how we have picture-in-picture available to us. So now you're watching the preacher and you're seeing the slides as they roll past. And maybe if something is fairly hard to see, then David, using the YOLO box, is able to make it the full screen and then put it back into picture-in-picture. We can also bring in another source for you to see, and that's what we have on the computer. Say that we have some video that you want to listen to, so let's listen to this wonderful choir from Strathroy, Ontario. You should be able to hear the audio crisp and clear. You can zoom in on what's being seen on the video. The sound continues while you go back to the camera shooting the minister. And back into the video that's being shown. So we can pause that and return us to the source during the sermon. So that's a little run through of what it's like on Sunday morning, what the sound is, what it is that you can expect, especially once we get back in the sanctuary in Labor Day and we're not having to unplug and replug all of these components. When we're out on the lawn, we have the mobile version of our live streaming. It means setting things up. Sunday morning, not much turnaround to get all the bells and whistles working the way that we will, especially while we're still on the learning curve. So thanks to the people who are watching at home. Again, my apologies for the technological difficulties that we've been having in the sanctuary during the summer, but I promise you, we will get